It's an awesome day to you, our lovely and smart real estate investors, wherever you're watching us across the world. I'm super delighted to welcome you to another insightful, educative, and of course, enlightening episode of Property Matters here on YouTube. In case you're coming across a video like this for the first time, my name is Adejare and I'm your host here on Property Matters. At Property Matters, we discuss important real estate issues and we give insightful tips on how you can safeguard your real estate investment and, of course, do your real estate investments the way it should be done. If you're coming across this channel for the first time, do also subscribe, be part of this family, turn on the notification bell so that when I drop a video, a very important personality like you will obviously be the first person to see it. So on today's episode, I'm going to be talking briefly on the current demolition of the landmark beach properties. And the reason why I'm doing this video basically is due to the fact that a lot of people have, expressed their concerns, and people who don't have, subsequent information about this have been spreading falsehood, thereby, misguiding or misinterpreting the entire purpose of the demolition. It's a sad thing, I must. It's not something that is, worth celebrating. Thousands of people have been rendered jobless, and a whole lot of people are kind of in a complete state of confusion. And a lot of things have happened as a result of that. Demolitions have received a lot of reactions, and today I just decided that I should talk about it today, and also to inform you, dear real estate investor, that it was not just only landmark beach, that was demolished. There was also another demolition, in the Koshofe area of Lagos, the Obudu area, and some parts of Maryland, and some structures were also pulled down. And a lot of people have been wondering, is it that government does not want people to own properties in Lagos, or what exactly is the cause? Why are we having frequent demolitions happening at a close interval? What exactly do people really get wrong, and what do real estate investor needs to understand? So today I'm going to be sharing 3 important things, or I'm going to giving you 4 important laws that once somebody violates that law, your property, regardless of the status or location, that thing will warrant the property or that landed property or structures for demolition. But I'll be going back to the landmark demolition saga, and then I'll be talking extensively on one thing we learned, because we learn every day. Now, according to the director and the MD of Landmark, there were papers, according to them, that proven that they bought that property from Lagos. And according to them, they have all the necessary documents, and they did their, due diligence before they acquired that property and before they started putting it to use. And a lot of people have been saying that that was initially not the route, for that road construction. It was supposed to be in the water corporation axis of that place. That's why did the government have to pull down the structures. Now, the first thing I want to say basically is that today's topic, I will not be speaking in defense of what governments have done. Neither will I be speaking in defense of what actually happened in Landmark. What has happened, obviously, as far as some people are concerned, is not a justification for demolition. However, we also need to understand and pick important lessons so that going forward, we will not be making those costly mistakes again. So the very first thing I'll be talking about basically, or what real estate investor needs to understand, is that in a place where there are proposed road construction, although we need to understand that there are some certain setbacks that has been stipulated, but if I were to be the investor who wants to buy a property, and I have gotten an hint, that there's going to be a road construction, whether it is coastal road, whether it's regional road, regardless of that project, it is always important that you double check, like double check. Now, according to the MD of Landmark, the coastal road was not supposed to pass that place, but we all know that there's going to be a coastal road, and that is why I think it should be, it should have perhaps carefully ascertain this thing. Now, according to him, okay, the road was a bridge, and from what we saw from the demolition and from the information we have gathered from credible sources, what were pulled down basically were the shanties, according to government, shanties and an extension to the beachfront. Now, the first thing I want you real estate investors to understand is that anything that is beachfront, government is the only body, according to the law, that can lay claims on it. I'm going to say it again so that real estate investors will understand. Anything that is close to any of the shorelines or the coastal line or anything facing the beach, it is the government, the federal government, that have the overall say on how it has to be used. Let me quickly reiterate the fact that I am not speaking in defense of government, but I'm speaking in interpretation of the Land Use Act, which states that all lands, okay, belongs to the government. All land belongs to the government. So what you need to understand is that whenever there is a road road construction that will be coming in, there are tendencies that plans may change at any time. I've seen instances where government will say the road is supposed to go through the eastwood, to the eastern part of that region, and they will say because of some one or two concentration, they are moving it to the north, or they are moving it to the south. So in a situation whereby things like this happen, you should know that it is very important, very, very important that you stay clear whether it is passing the route or the other route, because it has been so clear that government policies right now cannot be predicted. Government decisions cannot be predicted. So it is always advisable, okay, to stay as far as possible so that if the plans changes in the future, we will not be counting losses of properties worth billions and millions of naira. That is number one. So the first thing that I will recommend real estate investors is that whenever there is, now it's not just only Landmark that is affected, and according to the Minister of Works in the person of Senator David Umai, he said that they did not touch their structures, that what was demolished was their shanties. Well, the demolition is still ongoing, so we hope that the structures, okay, will not be touched. So they said they did not touch their structure, they didn't bring out their buildings, okay, that is only the shanties. And the painful thing basically is that at the moment the beach will not be at its peak because it doesn't have access, okay, to the sea, and the sea presently right now is being sand filled, okay. And what the Minister of Work said is that nobody can lay claims to the beach, and of course all land belongs to the government. Then the next thing you also need to understand concerning the present demolition, or the past demolition that happened in the Koshofe area of Lagos State, basically is that there are 4 things you can do that will warrant your structures to be due for demolition. The first thing basically is when you fail to understand the required setbacks. Now, I've said this before in one of my videos, I'm going to say it again. When it comes to the issue of setbacks, it is very important that you don't work under assumption, because it has proven so over time that some assumptions can be costly and they can cause severe loss. So when it comes to measuring setbacks, it is very important that you engage the service of a town planner and a registered surveyor for them to give you an accurate, okay, meter that is required for that setback, so that in a case whereby the road construction has been done, another government can come and say that road construction needs to be expanded. This is the benefit of that. So number one, when your property is not having the required setback, it will be due for demolition. Number two, the case of Koshofe, It was simple. The reason why structures were put down in Koshofe was just the fact that the Ministry of Environment said that these structures were built on drainage canals and waterways. So in a nutshell, if your property is obstructing waters, is obstructing all these things, it will be due for demolition. It will be due for and this is why it is very important that you ensure that the right professional help you measure your setback. In fact, in some cases, I've seen instances whereby they will say 20 meter. In some cases, give them 50. If it is possible, give them something fast. Let some plots be ahead of yours before you start building. It is always advisable you do so. So number two, when your structures are obstructing, okay, drainage canals, it will be due what? It will be due for what? For demolition. Okay. Then number three, if your structure is built under a power line, okay, it will be also what? Be due for demolition. Now, talking about power line, a lot of people are like, there was a scenario of a real estate investor. I met her many years ago, and she wanted to buy 6 plots of land, okay, at the Eleko area where we are presently having the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road construction at the moment. So she sought our services, and we went there with our team. After doing the required measurement and landscaping, we found out that what the real estate developer was selling as plots were plots that are what? That are inside that coastal road. So we were able to call her attention. Recently, she appreciated our effort. She called me and she was saying prayers, and of course she sent gifts of thanks to our newborn baby, just to express our gratitude and for helping her, for saving her from making that costly mistakes. A lot of real estate development companies, as I'm talking to you right now, are going to have serious issues because larger percent of their land, the land is sold and allocated to people, are inside that coastal road. So it is very important that you do the normal setback. Okay, so talking about the Koshofe demolition, it was similar to what happened at the Ikota axis, building on drainage canals. Now, a lot of people have built on drainage canals. Now, if it has not been demolished, it's because of the fact that government project has not got into that area. You need to understand, government project, by the time the project has gone to that area, or someone has written a petition making complaint, once the things of the Lagos State Ministry of Environment storms that place, or the Lagos State Video Management Control gets a notification on that place, they will surely come. So if you are a real estate investor, these are, and of course, another reason why a building may be, up for demolition is when you don't have a building approval. Presently, the Lagos State government is giving a 90-day ultimatum for people who have built without having building approval to do the necessary things. Then finally, the building will be due for demolition when it did not have, okay, when it did not have, when it is termed as what? Distress. Distress are buildings that are old, dilapidated, and they are showing signs that they may collapse at any time. So, dear real estate investors, with what has happened so far, this is a clear opener of that, the fact that a lot of things is happening. At the moment, government has closed down some estates in Ekpe, and the reason for that basically is that they don't have the necessary approval. The first thing is that many of them do not have the approved layout. Now, the reason why government is asking for this approved layout is because of the fact that some of these estates are not developed in accordance with what? To the government plan and regionalization of that place. When I talk about regionalization, I'm talking about, there are some places in Ekpe, I've said it in one of my videos, that are zoned for agric. There are some places that are zoned for residential. There are places that are zoned for forest use, and there are places that are zoned for military base. So what we're having presently is that we have a lot of people coming into real estate development, and many of them don't have, an accurate understanding that this is why this is wrong. It should not be done, and it will be sad that I can assure you that not all real estate development companies will get that approval. Because why? They will not give an approved layout on a property that is not zoned for residential use. And for the ones that are zoned for agric use, for real estate developers that are beginning to perfect their title, it will be done. But just know very well that for some of these companies that don't have the required documents, many of them will struggle to get this approval. And this is why it is very important to understand. In fact, to an extent, I think there will be some minimal demolition in this axis because of the fact that government have acted fast, and they have put a lot of parameters to ensure that people don't do things the wrong way. And This obviously is a clear indicator that government is beginning to, show interest in the activities of that place. So I believe a lot of real estate developers will get the approval. That's not a problem. But the ones that will struggle to get it, I believe they'll be able to find out how to solve this issue. So this is what I'm going to draw to this cutting of the demolition, the landmark demolition notice. Should you still invest in Lagos? Yes. Now, with the intention, with all these things we have seen, all these regulations, all these projects, all these things that is happening is a clear indicator that 10 years from today, the middle class people will not be able to afford Lagos when all these infrastructures are in place. And this is why. So, regardless of the demolition, don't let that one scare you. All you just need to do basically is work with people that understand all these regulations. Work with, see, the reason why a lot of people are scared because of the fact that they are not employing or working with the right people that can help them do their investment rightly. That's what the point. So, if you have the right people handling it, you will find out that Lagos State is still the best and the sweetest location, because you see, the price of property and the demand for rental property in Lagos, in this our Lagos, is very, very massive. So this is why you should still invest regardless of the demolition and every other thing. Until I come your way in another insightful episode of Property Matters, do also subscribe. Thank you very much for always following. I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.